Yeah, hello and welcome to my today's review and hands-on of the Seculine Altough I 5K LED light. To be precise, I'm reviewing here today the rebranded Kaiser L2S-5K model, which is basically the same compared to the original Seculine Altough-5K. The only difference is here this small sticker here, which indicates that it's sold over Kaiser Germany. Kaiser Germany is, by the way, the official German dealer for the Altough-5K light and also the official dealer for whole Europe. So if you're located here, just search for the Kaiser L2S-5K model, which is, by the way, maybe even better compared to the original Seculine Altough-5K, because with the Kaiser you get local warranty, so you don't have to send back the unit for a repair to Korea or to get a replacement. You don't have to wait for the replacement from Korea and pay again, maybe import fees, import VAT and so on. So just check out the Kaiser L2S-5K. Okay, but before I will show you the unit a little bit more in detail, I want to mention the structure of this review. Within the first part, I will show you the included parts a little bit, so the whole package you will get as soon as you buy this light. Then within the second part, I want to show you the unit a little bit more in detail, the pros and cons, and why this light is maybe the perfect light for yourself, especially if you're very often shooting with a fisheye or with a very, very wide lens. And within the third part, I will show you a comparison in between this light and the quite popular F&V Z96 light. To be precise, I actually only have the Z flash F&V light here, but the light output is the same, the case is the same, so there are only very small differences in between the Z flash and the Z96. So yeah, you can think about a Z96 within this comparison. Okay, so let's begin with the first part. So we included features and we included parts you can see here. As you can see here, here's the Altough-5K light. This is the light equipped with the standard panel is, by the way, a 400K panel, as you can see here now mounted. And there is also an NPF Sony battery plate included. There are optional battery plates available for Canon LP6 batteries or so, and for Nikon batteries, so check out the Seculine homepage and order it if you want to have such plates. And there is also such a limitation filter, kind of a limitation filter included, so you have a little bit smaller throw, or let's say, so you don't have the full 110-degree throw of this light. And this is one of the unique features, because, for example, the Z96 is only offering 65 or 70 degrees or so, and here you get full 110 degrees. And with this filter, you're limiting this throw a little bit. There are no diffusion and no function filters included, but yeah, I will mention this within a few seconds, minutes or so in the second part. Then we have this NPF 570 replacement battery. So it's a 300 milliamp hour battery, which is lasting, by the way, for a little bit under 1 hour at full power. Full power is the state 30, so you can regulate it in between 0 and 30. At 28 you get about 2 hours of running time, so you double the running time. And at 26, which is also quite usable because the light is quite bright. And by the way, I only used it mainly within 24 up to 28, by the way. And with the 26 state, you get about 3.5 hours. So yeah, the included battery is not the most powerful one, but it's quite usable. Okay, then also very, very nice, and I was quite astonished that this is included here. Here you can see a Sony Minolta to standard cold-shoe adapter. Normally such adapters are not included with lights, and I think it's really nice that they included it, because normally, yeah, you have to get it separately. Then we also have a very, very stable, one of the most stable ball joint mounts I've ever seen, with a hot shoe base, as you can see here. So you can mount it on your camcorder, on your system camera, DSLR, whatever you have. And yeah, as said, it's really, really stable, and it's very, very flexible and very nice to use. So it's no comparison to the many other versions you maybe get for a few bucks or so on eBay. Really, really nice. Here we also have a very nice and high quality charger, I have to say. It's by far not the worst charger I've ever seen. It's one of the better ones, and also really nice is that you have internal AC to DC adapter, so you just need a compatible cable here, so you can plug it into your wall, because it's a 50 and 60 Hz compatible power supply and charger, and you can also use it from 100 to 240 volts, so it's usable anywhere around the globe. And you just need the compatible cable, which is a standard cable. As you can see here with the Kaiser is a EU cable included, but you can get the cable you need, for example, for the UK or wherever you live. Okay, so this was the first part. Now I want to show you the LED light a little bit more in detail. As you can see here, okay, I forgot to mention there's also a description included, but it's not that useful or not that needed, I have to say, because it's quite easy to control this light. But let's get to the light, to the exterior first. As you can see here, we have the front with the SMD LEDs, and to mention it already here, these are very, very bright 3-chip LEDs. So each of the LEDs consists out of 3 single LED elements inside. And so you get a kind of very even throw and a very even light source. It's kind of bad that they don't include or that they don't offer at all a diffusion filter, because you still have a little bit the problem of the single LED light sources, although they are 3-chip LEDs. Yeah, but you have the huge pro of this light is that, as you can see here, the SMD LEDs are not using any optics at all, so they are flat, and so first they are better cooled. There is also no protection, by the way, in the front, so a little bit more risky, but they're lasting way longer. Then the next point is they're much closer together, so you get a way more even throw out of this light compared to a standard light. And I can show you, for example, the Z96 here. Yeah, the Z96 is maybe not the best sample or the best to compare, because here the LEDs are already quite tight together. But especially with other lights, you get a very wide array, and here you get a very tight array. And yeah, although it was, let's say, it was necessary here to make it with SMD LEDs, because otherwise you don't get this light output out of such small unit. The next, so it's kind of, it has its pros and cons. The con of this unit is, and I will show you this now, that as you can see here, it's also removable, by the way, but I will mention this in a few seconds. The problem with the SMD LEDs a little bit is, first, they are not protected. Yeah. So they are a little bit, there is a little bit the danger that you damage them if you throw the unit in your bag, which isn't a problem at all with the Z96 here, for example. So think about it and I absolutely recommend to get a separately bag for this Altough I-5K unit. And the next problem is that these SMD LEDs are getting very, very hot compared to standard LEDs, because yeah, they are smaller. They have 3 chips per LED, not only one. And yeah, so it's necessary, as you can see here, to have a proper cooling at the back. And so it's also the case here that here is a fan included. And I will yeah, come to the fan in a few seconds. It has its pros and its cons, but it's good to see that they built in a fan, because otherwise the LEDs would get quite fast darker. They will lose their color rendering index quite fast. They will lose their color temperature quite fast. So I'm happy that there is a fan included, by the way, and I will tell you in a few seconds why. To get back to the unit or to finish this LED panel, as you can see here, it's removable, and this is one of the nice features, because, for example, you can get the 3200K tungsten LED panel for your light, and so you can switch the panels quite easily. As you can see, you just need to plug it on, and it's mounted already, so there's not you don't need to unscrew anything or so. And the huge pro of this solution is that you get the full brightness out of the 3200K panel, because you don't need a filter. Like here with the Z96, for example, you have your function filter and you're losing a little bit of light output. And with this solution of a replacement panel, you don't lose any light at all. So you still have the full output. Okay, so to get back to the fan, and I will remove the panel again so I can show you the fan a little bit. This is, by the way, a 50 by 50 by 10 millimeter 5-volt fan. If you want to change it to a little bit more silent one, it's a standard frame fan, by the way. I searched for a replacement because here a little bit the problem is it's not very loud, especially not at the lowest setting, but the ball bearing is it's noticeable. And so if you plan to get this light, maybe also get a more silent fan. It's very easy to open up this frame here. You maybe need 30 seconds up to 1 minute or so, and you have it opened up. And it's also very easy to put it together again, so don't think that it's really high complex in there. This fan here is also automatically controllable. And now I will show you the back a little bit. As you can see here is the display. To get to the back first a little bit. Here's the display where you can see the battery indicator if the battery is low. And this battery indicator, by the way, is getting displayed as soon as you just have 10 up to 20 minutes left. Then you have the 0 up to 30 state displayed for your light output. Here you have the switch, and here we come to the fan again, in between the auto mode and the manual mode. By the way, I want to mention here already up to the 28 state, and this was my normal standard max state because 29 and 30 was extremely bright and nearly too bright for interviews, for example, and so on. And as far as you don't go over 28, you always can switch to manual, and you can set here with fan control very easily your fan speed. Wait a little bit, I will show you this. You just need to plug in the battery. Here is, by the way, the on-off switch. Below the fan switch, just switch it on. And I will dial it down a little bit to 10 or so. As you can see here, you have a stepless and also non-limited selection wheel here on top, which is really nice. So you don't need to press a button or so, and so your camera is shaking. No, you just need to screw here to the left or to the right to adjust the brightness. And as you can see here, the max state is 30, and the lowest state is 0. And its regulating power is really nice. So you get a very high range you can regulate. It's even possible to switch it off, as you can see. And as soon as you're here at the auto state, it's manually, not manually, it's automatically regulating. And as soon as you're switching to manual, and you can see now that the fan is turning, by the way, you can see here shortly, as I switched over, here you can see shortly the fan speed you can select. And here with this button here, you can select the fan speed you want to have, up to 5. And I have to say that especially at the first state, it's not that noticeable, I have to say. So don't think that it's extremely bad that there is a fan inside, because the fan is helping that your LEDs will stay as bright and as color corrected, and that they will deliver the light you're expecting over a way longer period of time. And the first state, by the way, is more than enough up to the, as I've already mentioned, up to the 28 brightness. And I will show you this. So with the first state, I never had any problems, and I also tested it out over a few hours, by the way. And as soon as I switched back to the auto mode, it stopped again, and so I knew that the first state was more than enough. And by the way, it's also always saving manual state you already selected. So if you switch in between the auto and the manual mode, it's always switching back to the manual mode you already selected, which is really nice. And yeah, it's also saved, by the way, if you remove this battery here over a few days or a few weeks. This unit, I didn't use this unit for over 2 or 3 weeks now, and the battery wasn't attached, and it's still saved. Manual mode I selected. So it's also possible, for example, quite easily, if you really need to use the 29 or the 30 brightness level, just switch to auto mode, so it's regulating by itself. Yeah, if there is really a higher fan speed needed, and as soon as you get back to 28 or lower, you can switch back to manual mode. And yeah, I have to say it's maybe not that common that LED lights are equipped with a fan, but I have to say that it was and it is a very good idea, because this unit is trimmed, and it's designed to be very compact. And as soon as you want to have a very compact unit, a fan is obvious, I have to say, and it's really good that they built it in. And I have to say that I normally always use this light at the fan 1 state, no matter if I'm at 10, at 20 or at 28 brightness, because as soon as you're using the fan, we LEDs are always cool, and you have more of your light over a longer period of time. Okay, to get back a little bit to the whole unit, as you can see here, here is the, as already mentioned, the NPF battery holder mounted. And here we come to the first con, or at least this is the first con, because yeah, the fan is also a little bit annoying, but as soon as you don't place this unit directly next to your internal mic, or as soon as you don't place it directly beside your directional mic or so, you will not recognize it on your recordings, by the way, and I tested it out. And as I already mentioned, if you really want to change the fan, it's a 50 by 50 by 10 millimeter 5-volt fan. You maybe find something more silent compared to this one here. Okay, now let's get to the first con I really want to mention, and it's really annoying, by the way. This is the NPF battery holder. And the NPF battery holder is a little bit crappy, I have to say, because as you can see here, there is no notch here before we locking off the battery. It's just this thingy here at the back. And I have to say, I also had to bend these 2 pins here a little bit, so the battery yeah, was compatible. Yeah, it's not matching the other quality of the light. And also, but the most annoying point is that you have this cable here. And please don't let this cable be plugged in as soon as you transport the unit, because as you can see here, this pin here is very, very small. This is a 1.5 millimeter DC in plug or so, although I'm not sure if it's really a 1.5, but it's very, very unstable, especially if you plug it in, as you can see here. Yeah, it's not that stable, and especially because I already opened this unit, and this plug here is directly mounted to the PCB, and as soon as you throw this unit in with plugged in your bag with plugged in DC jack here, yeah, I think this is the point which will be defect very, very fast. So you can also do it this way, just let it plugged in and switched on, and as soon as you want to transport it, just unplug it. And this is the way I used it. I never switched it off, I just unplugged the DC jack, and as soon as I wanted to use it, I just plugged it in, and yeah, that's it. Okay, so also thinking about this fact or this con, if you're using an external battery pack, this is the point where, which I don't like about this light, and which you should think about if you get this light or if you plan to get this light. Okay, well, this was more or less the second part. Yeah, here is also a USB port. I didn't find anything about this USB port. I think it's for the firmware, for the first firmware. Yeah, they are transferring onto the unit, and because there are also no additional firmwares available, I think this is not that important to notice, or it's not that important for you as end customer. Okay, I hope this was enough for the second part. To mention again the huge pros. The huge pros are the size. It's really small. It's compatible to any small camcorder, to any small system camera you have, and it's not even as bulky. And to call the Z96 bulky is already a little bit funny. It's way smaller, or it's noticeable smaller, let's say this way, than the Z96. And so this light is really the perfect light for smaller camcorders. And especially, for example, if you mount it with a low profile hot shoe mount, yeah, it's really nice on a camcorder. And I already used it on a camcorder, so I can tell you that it's looking and it's handling really nice. And the next point, which is maybe even more important, is we throw and the degrees. This LED light is throwing the light, and here we come back to the 110 degrees. With 110 degrees, you can use this light even with fisheye lenses. You can use it with any lens you maybe have already, and you don't have to worry about that your scene is maybe not lit properly. And this is a huge pro over, for example, the Z96, which is quite popular. And even if you get 2 units of the Z96, you still have a problem that the Z96 LED light is way more spotty. And even if you use 2 side by side, you don't get a that evenly lit scene, which is possible with this line. With this light. And if you can live with the con that there is a fan inside and that it's making a little bit of noise, I have to say that this is really the perfect light, or one of the best lights I've ever seen and I know of. Okay, so I hope this was enough, and if you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. I want to say goodbye at this point and thanks for watching, because now within the third part I will only show you a little bit of footage shot with the Seculine Altough I, in comparison with the Z-Flash, aka Z96 F&V light. So again, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, don't hesitate to ask. Subscribe if you like. There are coming many more videos, especially now over the summer, because I have a little bit more time as a student. And yeah, that's it. Bye.